Here you go. Hello everyone. I will start with the Turkish a little bit, then I will switch to English. Herkese merhaba. Ee, Bugün 1 Mart 2026 Pazar ve İstanbul saatiyle 21 ve Meksiko saatiyle öğlen saatlerindeyiz. Bugün çok değerli bir misafirimiz var. Areli Carreon. And let's try in English because I can't speak Spanish, that I said before. We will make this conversation in English as best I can do. I will try. So welcome, Areli.
Hello,
What
Hande.
what are these great works are you're doing in Mexico?
Well, I'm a bicycle activist for almost 30 years now. I am one of the founder members of Bicitekas, which is the crew that has been working to make cycling safe, easy, equitable for Mexico City. Mexico City is the capital of Mexico. It's Mexico's biggest city and is one of the global big cities of the world. We are a staggering, very big, 22 million people city in North America. We are one of the greatest, biggest cities in North America, and it at the beginning when we started to work in 1997, everybody thought that this was wild and it was impossible. Everyone, every single politician that we talked to said that this was impossible, that the bicycle will never be a thing in Mexico City, that this will never be a mode of transportation. And we were deemed like kamikazes, like suicidal people for trying to bicycle around the city in a city that is very congested. Even today, Mexico City has been named for this year the most congested city in the world. So you can figure out how bad it is. It's a car centered city. And despite that first approach of our politicians, we have managed to actually change the city. We went from 0 kilometers that of bike paths, we already have 400 kilometers. And we have changed one of the, what I would say it's our biggest, well, I would say that we have two major successes. One is to have a very diverse and self-organized community of people cycling. Like before, we were just a few of us. I was whenever I was in the city and I saw passing by someone on a bicycle, I I knew this person by name. We were so few back in the day. Like today, we have almost 500,000 trips made daily by bicycle, and there's a big community of people of all ages traveling to school, traveling to work, traveling with their kids in every single part of the city. Many people have organized their own organizations, their own rides and activities, and we are a very thriving, very powerful and demanding community, which I believe is our biggest success. No? Being able to launch a movement that now has his own strength and his own energy and that keeps moving things forward. And the second greatest success I believe that we had is that we managed to have recognized the right to safe mobility in our national constitution. This is something that only Mexico has achieved globally. We are now an example for everyone because many of the international objectives for reducing deaths and injuries due to road crashes, as well as all the goals that are being pursued to reduce pollution, to have clean air, to have better quality of air, and less climate change emissions won't be met without having a mobility that is safer and cleaner. So that's why the United Nations working groups and also the directors of the World Health Organization have mentioned what Mexico has achieved with this right, the recognition of this right in our constitution as something that is very important. And I have to say that this was something that we did and we pursued and managed to succeed as a coalition, as a big group of organizations of all kinds, pedestrians and road safety special experts and all different kinds of organizations around the country. But I have to say that the power and the willingness and all the effort of the cyclist community around the country was key to succeed in this big achievement. So just in a very brief, I believe this is the what we have managed to do in so many years working as activists. Mm-hmm.
It's super news that it's like a inspiration and hope actually. If, even though this city doesn't seem like a cycling city, which is the same in Istanbul, what we are doing, everyone is saying it's craziness, and it's sometimes they say the same thing. It's impossible, don't try,
Mm.
or they think we are just dreamer. Let's say they say, you're good people, you have good ambitions, but and they don't try it that hard. I mean. But in the end, when we see these examples like you and changing so many things, as you told, it's inspiration and hope for us that sometimes it can happen. But I want to hear your story first, Areli. Like, even though in your first, young age, you seen so less people that you only knew their name, maybe 10 or I don't know 20 people. And how did your own story start by? Like, how did you learn and why did you know, had this target in you that you have to change something in your city? What actually triggered you and do this for your community?
I would. I was a regular person. No, I learned to bicycle on a park, and for me, as almost for everybody in Mexico, cycling was something that was only to be done on a park. Like it was just for fun or sports or recreation. And for me, what happened or what triggered like a change in the way I saw cycling is that I had, because of something that happened in my early youth. I was an undocumented migrant in Canada, and I lived in Montreal for a year without any permission to work or any, despite the fact that I already had university studies concluded and everything, but I didn't have a permission to work. So I was stranded somehow in Montreal with a very bad weather, with a very few money, very few opportunities. So out of necessity, I began cycling because that was the cheapest way to move around. It was, it was the only way of getting to go places. So I was very scared at the beginning because for me, as I said, cycling was something that only to be done on parks. But then I discovered that cycling it was something that can be done for transportation. And it was not only very efficient, but very nice. And the bicycle allowed me to get to know people, to get to realize that the city could be different. Maybe you know that Montreal is one of the best cities to cycle in North America, has a beautiful infrastructure and a very inspiring movement as well from the early 70s. And as a matter of fact, I got the chance to know some of their original founders, which was very inspirational for me. I learned a lot from them personally. But mostly it changed something in my heart. Like because I began cycling, I was able to recover from depression, and slowly, very slowly, at the cycling velocity, I regained faith in myself and found the strength to move forward and and I wanted to immediately come back to my country and to push for my country to change. No, I realized that cycling could be something that could change people's lives as it did for me. So that's how I turned myself into a cyclist activist since I was
And
24 years old. Hmm.
in our stories, emotions are actually work somehow in the same way. It was my story that I got divorced and I was in depression, and I had so many everyone around me was actually pitying me, like they were saying, are you okay? And why don't you do something for yourself? Blah blah. And I decided to cycle, just cycle with some girls around me, and they just this let's say this sisterhood around me really helped, and feeling this free feeling helped me to understand that there's so many things that you still want to see in the world. You can cycle just around city, around world, and it makes you feel like a childish happy. It's always the same um, feeling that actually helps me, as you told. It's emotionally help, and of course I and everyone around me discovered that it's good for community in general. It's good for the people, for everyone. But we started with women, and we did so many projects with kids. But I know with the Bicitekas, you're working with everyone, not only with women or kids, but in general, you're doing so many projects with them. And I think I have to ask you, which part is harder for you, to make the community or to work with governmental issues? Like, because I think the first, to make communities move, let's say, or to do something together is the hard part, because bicycle a little bit something personal. You're actually cycling by yourself in the first place, but then when you cycle with the community, you understand you're like a cult or you're just like animal pack. You're cycling together. You don't talk, but you can understand each other in a good way. Like, there's a communication system on the bicycle, so it helps for the community, but it's hard to make them do the same thing together. So how did you organize these groups? How did they become a friends of Areli?
Well, we actually got together as Bicitecas it was like a magic thing because we were promoting or thinking about how cycling could be a solution for Mexican cities. And we were doing some things think by ourselves, and we somehow began to get together through the internet, which was something very new back in the day, back in the 90s. So it was kind of a magic thing that we got together the first group of people that we founded the Bicitecas, and then, as I said, this community began to grow and grow different and diverse. So there's people that choose to organize more rides to go outside of the city or to visit places or to get to know places or to do long trips on a bicycle or like very different. It's very interesting the ecosystem of the cycling community in Mexico City because we have now people that gathers only at night, very late at night, because of this is the time where they can ride because of their work. People that gather to take coffee, for instance, no, so they move around and they are go from coffee shop to coffee shop and testing all the different coffee of the cities. Or we also had at some point a group of gourmet people that were visiting different restaurants and trying different kinds of food every ride. We had women's group, we had gay groups, no, we had people that were smoking pot as well. I mean, at some point there's also the people, doctors and nurses that got together to bicycle. So it's this diverse, you see. Which is very nice because, as you said, this is not something that we did. The Bicitecas didn't organize all of this. We only got an idea, push it with the government, and then the people did his own thing. Like the people organized their thing, as they wish to, and this is very important because I do believe that this has empowered the community. There's not one leader or a group of people that is leading the way and saying everybody what to do, but just showing how to do this sort of thing, and then the people is doing it by themselves. And what is very interesting and good about this is that everyone is pursuing their objectives and their own thing for their neighborhood or their municipality, or or their particular interests, whether that be women or children or students or whatever. No, so it has become a community that is very loud. It's very powerful to demand on the city improvements on the roads, or being out there, being outspoken and empowered to demand for the government on their own terms. And what we as Bicitecas maybe are what we champion somehow is that we somehow understood how to deal with the government, how to push for changes with the legislators, with the congresses, with the decision makers, which is not very nice, as you know. Like, this is always a big fight. Is we have to convince, we have to push, we have to demand. It's a very tiresome and sometimes very frustrating work, because politicians doesn't have any incentives to take attention for this for many of the demands that the cycling community has. No? And their approach is consistently responding, we don't, this is not a thing, this is not important, you are so few, so I don't have to pay attention for you because you are a minority, or this is something that is not as important as cars or as other issues, or this is very difficult to do, so I don't know how to start, or I don't have the money. These arguments keep coming back to us all the time. They don't see the importance, they don't see the urgency, they don't see they don't have, or say that they don't have the resources to address the issues, or they don't know how to do it. And all that, it's year after year of pushing and asking and coming back and coming back and coming back and saying, yes, you need to do that. And we have, as I said, managed to go from just a demand of young people, students that we were at the time when we started this, to change the laws and to make it something that is now a right that we can demand. So it has been a long path of work, and now we are not asking them for their sensibility or their goodwill. They need to do that because they are obliged by the law to do this. And still it is difficult. Now still they have arguments to say, yes, I'll do it, but not now, not as you want it, not as soon as you want, or not, be patient. They're always coming back with this sort of arguments. But yeah, well, what we have managed, to understand how to have influence on the decision-making process. And it's hard, like, despite all the results that we have had in the past almost 30 years, we have to invent ourselves every time, because politicians change, and context and problems change. Now they are so worried about drug cartels and organized crime and what's going on with the United States and this awful president that they have now. So it has shifted the attention and the policies and the decision-making process to other places. So despite the fact that we now have a law, we need to invent ourselves again to how to keep on saying this is important. This is something that you cannot, ignore, and you cannot say this is other things are in front of me and I and ignore road safety or ignore people's rights. No. Mm-hmm.
In one of your interview, you were saying it's not a sprint, it's marathon for working. So I think
That's right.
same thing that we have to work on. But for the things about government, I think there's always something more important for them for primal, let's say. So they always, it's not their thing. Maybe as you told about the car issue, I think it's I can't say it's humanist issues. It's about capitalism and money. So
Mm.
for their perspective, let's say, bicycle doesn't really make them earn money in a direct way, let's say, or that you can't actually follow. It's by the bicycle, you don't really share so much information. You don't have in the background of the back of car. There's the numbers that you can be followed on or something. So in bicycle, you're lost. They don't know you. They can't really control of it. So they think it's like a childish stuff that,
Mm.
that they don't really want to put the money on it. But as you told before, it's we have to work on that. And in Turkey, when we have in 1923, we had this really big fight in Turkey, the war. There was some feminist issues already, and they were saying we want our rights as a human rights, and it was the same fault again. They were saying, okay, this is just wartime. After the war passed, we're gonna do something for women, but women said no. It's the time. I can't postpone it. It's the when everything is on the solving issue, you have to solve this problem too because we can't wait. It's the rights of women. It's the same with the bicycle. Even
Mm.
though there's always a issue in world that they're always fighting with, let's say with the politics or something really important for them. So cycling is always a side story for them or not really important as they thought. But we see there's a issue about climate now, and there's a COP meeting every year. COP 31 is the this year's meeting, and it will be in Turkey. So we're excited because we're gonna host so many United Nations people who are working on climate issues. But we have to make our people realize it's important and they have to do something about it. They can. This is actually a good time for Turkish people to understand the issue. So we're trying to make atmosphere for that to make them understand the climate issue with anything, not only with bicycle but anything. But now, actually, we can maybe make them understand climate issue is not something that you can postpone. It's really on it. We are on it. Maybe we're actually kind of late, so we have to do something. But I know you're working with kids about it. So can you please let us learn about these great things that you're doing with climate issue on kids? What's that plan in Mexico?
Well, now I'm part of another group of now that I'm a mother. I'm part of a mothers and fathers for climate working group in Mexico, and we have joined forces with Our Kids Climate, which is an NGO that is working for clean air and also for a just transition, precisely saying not only for the sake of a cleaner, safe, healthy air for our children and everybody to breathe, but we need to leave oil on the ground because oil is polluting not only at the last stage when it's burned as a as for cars like gasoline or for gas in the kitchen, but all the life cycle of the fossil fuels are really fueling wars, problems, health problems, climate change, and a lot of things that cannot be postponed, cannot be left for a future that might not come if we don't act now. So it's very difficult because mothers around the world are the busiest persons, the most people that we live tired most of the time. We don't have a schedule, we don't have vacations, we don't have free time. So it's very difficult to organize and get together. But also, we are a very powerful population because we care, because we love our children, because we can see further, not only for as you were saying, not only for what it's important for the political class, or the money, or the short term, or the elections, but on the long run. Now we need a living, healthy planet to survive. And if we don't produce it, if we don't act and construct that world for everybody, what is going to happen? What we cannot leave such an important issue in the hands of politicians, because they don't care. They have proven, despite the fact that differences from right, left, the colors, different political parties, they go up and down, and they are very different and diverse everywhere. But at the end, they are more or less the same. They just care about their next election, not about the long run. So the idea of this working group of mothers and fathers around the world is, how do we manage to work together with our diversity and with our tiredness, with our very short capacities and time left, in order for to put forward the demand for clean, healthy earth, air for everybody. So we are planning to have we are planning activities with children and mothers and fathers here in Mexico City, and our most the next activity that we are planning is to have a critical mass, a critical mass of children on June 7th, which is very close for the International Day of Environment globally, and is part of the Mexican National Week of the Bicycle. Um, so hopefully we will manage to have. Ay, ¿qué pasó? I don't know if we're still live. I think we will hopefully have a critical mass on 3 Mexican cities on June 7th, and we will try. It's an effort of showing how mothers and fathers are caring about the climate change and about the quality of air for everybody. So I think I'm having you backhanded. I think, yeah. Yeah. So what we plan to do is this critical mass with children in three Mexican big cities. Hopefully we will have more people joining in, and it's our way of demanding and saying, keep on asking what is important. Not only what is important for the political class, but what is important for us as women, as mothers and fathers, and as caring people. So let's see how that goes, and we will be very happy to share what we managed to do. I think we lost hand. Yes. Well, she's coming
Internet is
back.
smoking with me, Areli, I think, because I don't know why. I'm sorry, but I try to listen to everything you said, and I think with the YouTube link, in when it's done, I will watch all of them anyway. But thank you very much again. Let's, without cutting it again, I want to do finish around here. In the end, I would love to say, by Bicitekas. You can look in Instagram, right, or Bicitekas in
Yeah, in
website.
all
How can
platforms
we
we
reach
are.
your work? How can we learn?
In X, you can find us as Bicitecas with a K, Bicitecas, as well as in Instagram and Facebook. Our main page is now down. Hopefully, we will have it up again pretty soon. And yes, we will keep on pushing and being stubborn in this marathon to manage to get changes in our city. And hopefully I will be able to visit Istanbul in next March. So hopefully I will very happy to meet you, Hande, in person, and maybe to ride around Istanbul with you. And I want to thank you for this opportunity to talk to everybody at Istanbul.
It was a pleasure for me to just meet you online. It's just I'm always saying it's a date for me, and I'm getting so excited to meet these really strong woman that actually being inspired for me because I'm seeing. I was always telling myself, really, there are so many clever men around who will solve all the problems for me. But now I know I'm 40, maybe that's why. And I'm a mother like you, so I think it's the same illumination that I could understand. I have to do something for the kids and for their future. So now I know if there's a hero in the future who will save our time or world, it's gonna be a woman. I know because maybe it's instinctive. I don't know how, but we are here for solve some problems. I can feel that from inside. And there is always a rumor that it was saying women are not really good with other women. They always fight. They got, they're jealous for each other. And I'm sorry to tell you, but it's a bullshit. Now I know because now I can see any woman I met who already did so many things and inspirational for me. I'm always feeling like my sister is made something good in some place. I'm getting really proud and really happy, and it makes me do something more for my country and my people too. So thank you very much for being a part of that. And let's say we found each other in bikes. Please check this too, BYCS bikes.org, and they're doing great job in. They started in the Europe, but they're doing so many like in Turkey, in Mexico, so many the other cities. They're doing so many great projects. I think the last project we did is Bicycle Heroes. It was activism teaching for
Mhm.
kids between 12 and 15 or something. So
Mhm.
the future is getting ready for this bicycle, let's say, war. I don't want to say the war though, but it's let's say try by being more cycling and try to save the world with that. I guess that's why they call us heroes, right? So we are
Right.
trying our to save the future. Thank you very much, Areli. Thank you really
Th-
much. You are inspiration. Thank you for being you. Mwah.
oh, thank you, and then hopefully we will
You,
meet in person very soon.
we will live. Please, if any of you, let's stay in Turkish too. Eğer hiçbiriniz Areli ile tanışmak isterseniz, Areli'nin geliş tarihi, Areli, it was 23rd of March.
20 from 23 to 27 of March I'll be in Istanbul
Tamam.
hopefully.
23 ile 27 Mart arası Areli İstanbul'da olacak ve Zincir Kıran Kadınlarla birlikte bir şeyler yapmak istiyor. Ben de çok istiyorum. Beraber bisikletle bence Areli'ye İstanbul'u gezdirebiliriz. Eminim çok güzel olur. Belki bize akıl da verir. Bizim için kaotik bir şehir çünkü. İstanbul is kind of chaotic, but we will try our best to show you the good parts of it. Okay. Herkese iyi akşamlar. Katıldığınız için çok teşekkür ederim. Görüşmek üzere. See you then. Bye bye.
Bye bye.